We're standing here in France-Lise McGurn's solo exhibition at KunsthausPasquart in Biel, Switzerland. The exhibition is called Bodytronic, and this refers to the rhythmic, the trance, the moving body in France-Lise McGurn's work. The exhibition occupies 800 square meters in our building and takes place in two very different architectural settings. On the one hand, the old classical building, smaller rooms, more intimate, domestic in feel, where France-Lise McGurn is showing canvases. And in the other half of the building, which is a contemporary extension and much cooler and more neutral in feel, she has made a wall drawing across 400 meters of the four galleries. So we're standing here in the contemporary extension. Here we have the line drawing that she has made on the wall, interspersed with areas of coloured wash. The line drawing she doesn't plan in advance, it's intuitive. She has a whole bank of images in her head based on various sources. But when she's actually in the space on a ladder, making the painting, it's a much more intuitive feel of how she wants to create an image and how she imagines the canvases will be placed in conjunction with the image. So here we have various female figures. The female figure is at the heart of France-Lise McGurn's line drawing. On top of the painting on the wall are canvases. And France-Lise McGurn doesn't know in advance, in most cases, how the canvases are going to be placed. She and I decided that once she had started making the wall drawing. The canvases are then hung in a way which makes sense with the way that the wall drawing has begun on the wall, in terms of colour, in terms of mood, in terms of the shapes and the rhythm of the limbs. So in her work, France-Lise McGurn draws on two main sources. One is popular culture, and the other is people that she sees and observes. Her interest in popular culture is very broad. It consists of films from the 70s and 80s, flyers, posters, fashion magazines, glamour photography, pop music. She loves Madonna, for example. Strong women who have influenced pop culture in various ways. If we take this painting here, we can see that her paintings recall classical figures, the shapes of the eyes, often the strong profile of the nose recalls antique sculpture. But very often we think of the Art Deco aesthetic for depicting young women in a very boyish manner. In addition to the two main areas of the exhibition, the wall painting with the canvases on the one hand and the canvases on their own on the other, there are two small groups of works that punctuate the rhythm of the exhibition. One of these is a selection of two neon works that France-Lise McGurn made at the beginning of this year. I'm standing in front of one of them now. It's called Everything That Moves Dear. And the smaller neon in a corner of the same room is called Anything That Moves Vicky. And France-Lise McGurn made her first neon work for a bar in Glasgow, and this inspired her to continue to make them in her own practice. And what attracts her to the material neon is that it's another way of creating a line drawing, and it also is reminiscent of the city, of advertising, of the bright lights of the night, of going out, of partying. And France-Lise McGurn likes the idea of somehow being connected to all this now that she's a mother and can't engage with nightlife in the way that she used to. So there's a very personal connection to her, but it's also an important way of enhancing the line drawing that is made on the wall behind the neon. There's this superposition that she uses in different ways in her work. We're here in the old part of the building where we're showing, among other things, a small group of heads and much more simplified line drawings of bodies by France-Lise McGurn. We wanted to show a selection of these as a comparison with the larger canvases because she makes these very quickly, and they're also painted on more or less monochrome backgrounds, which emphasize her palette. Impure tones, shades of pink, red, orange, flesh colors. And what's also interesting is the titles of these works. This is a very important feature of France-Lise McGurn's paintings. They have titles such as Mayfair, Gauloise, Blondie, Sexo. They conjure up speed, movement, the continual immersive experience of city life. They're quite glamorous. Many of them are drawn from pop culture. So the titles of her works are a way of reading the work, primarily of getting a sense of the mood and atmosphere that she wants to create. France-Lise McGurn's materials in the large canvases and in her wall paintings are oil, acrylic, spray paint and marker pen. And she also makes drawings, and we're standing here in a room where we've painted the walls pink to draw out the much more delicate pastel colours of the drawings. And this small selection of drawings echoes the first half of the exhibition with the wall paintings and the canvases, because here France-Lise McGurn uses a very similar technique. The drawings spill out from the paper onto the canvas-covered frame and onto the plexiglass itself. So there's a constant sense of movement, of a drawing having the potential to continue endlessly, extending from one support to another.